Long ago, in a faraway land, there lived a man and a woman who wanted a child, but it seemed that they could not have any. They thought of a time when they might be blessed with a child. The woman would stand in the back of her house looking out the window and dreaming of a baby. She could see a beautiful garden with flowers, tomatoes, and Rapunzel, a kind of lettuce. She would look and look at the Rapunzel. She craved and refused to eat any other food. She started to lose a lot of weight. As she wasted away, her husband asked, "What is the matter?" "I am dying. I must eat some Rapunzel from the garden," replied his wife. The husband said, "I cannot go over there because the witch lives there. She has high walls around her home. I cannot go over there. She will kill me." The wife said, "Well, I am going to die if I do not get some Rapunzel from the garden." As he loved her, he decided to take the risk. He waited until the dark of night. He climbed the high wall and gathered a handful of Rapunzel. When he climbed back over the wall, his wife ate the Rapunzel right away. It was so delicious. She wanted more Rapunzel. Her husband thought, "My wife seems to be improving. I will risk it again." He waited until the dark of night. He looked around and did not see anyone. He got into the garden and started to gather some Rapunzel. Suddenly, he saw the witch. "What are you doing in my garden?" "These are my Rapunzel," asked the witch. He replied, "My wife. She has been craving this. She will not eat anything else. If she does not eat Rapunzel, she will surely die." The witch said, "Let's say we come to an agreement. I will give you all the Rapunzel you want, but in exchange, you must give me the child that may be born." The husband thought to himself, "My wife needs the Rapunzel to get well." So he agreed. The witch was delighted. The husband climbed the wall back to the house and gave the Rapunzel to his wife. "Oh, this is delicious," said the woman. "I want more." The husband went back and got more. The witch looked and was so happy. Later, the wife became pregnant and gave birth to a girl. The husband had already told his wife about the agreement he made with the witch. The woman cried, but it was important that she became well after eating the witch's Rapunzel. The husband took the baby to the witch. The witch cackled with glee. "Thank you." She named the girl Rapunzel. Years later, the girl grew up to become a beautiful young woman. Oh, what a beauty! Rapunzel had long blonde hair. The witch decided to braid her long hair. The witch knew that many men would flock to Rapunzel because she was so beautiful. The witch took Rapunzel and hid her away out in the woods. It would be very hard to find her. They would have to search and find her in the woods. The witch built a tall tower that had no stairs or door. No one could enter. They could not even find the tower. From the top of the tower was a little window Rapunzel could look out. Now how would the witch get in the tower? She was clever. She would holler, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The girl would hear the witch's voice and let down her long braided hair through the window. The witch would slowly climb up the rope and enter the tower. Rapunzel would then pick her braided hair up. Every day it went on the same way. When the witch wanted to leave, Rapunzel would let down the braided rope of her hair so the witch could get down from the tower. If she wanted to get in, she would climb up the rope. The witch was off somewhere in the forest, and Rapunzel was lonely. She decided to sing. A beautiful voice she had. She would sing whenever she was lonely. One day the prince was riding through the forest. He heard a beautiful voice, but he did not know where it was coming from. He searched, but he did not find it. He went home and told his father, the king, "I heard a woman sing in the forest. She had a beautiful voice. I want to marry her." The king said, "If you find her, I give you my blessing. Go ahead and marry her." The prince was excited. Every day he rode to the forest and heard the same beautiful sound. He kept looking for her. Then one day he spied that tall tower. He saw the witch holler, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," and the girl would drop her braided rope of hair out the window. The prince saw that as he watched the hair go down the tower. The witch climbed up in the braid and entered. The prince remembered how to get into the tower. The next night he decided to ride out to the forest. The prince went at night because the witch usually came during the day. He hollered, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The girl heard that and let down her hair. The prince climbed up the rope all the way up the tower. When Rapunzel saw the prince, she was shocked. The prince looked and fell in love with her. He kissed her on the cheek, and the girl was afraid. "Do not be afraid," said the prince. "I want to marry you." "Oh, I cannot," said Rapunzel. "My godmother would be angry. How can I get out of this tower?" "We will find a way," replied the prince. "Maybe if I bring you some gold thread you can make a ladder, and we can escape and get married." Rapunzel was excited. She made plans and thought about how she would do that. The prince climbed down the rope. He went home and told his father, "I have met the girl of my dreams. I am going to marry her." "Wonderful," said the king. The prince waited until dark to go to the tower. He hollered, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel let down her braided rope of hair all the way down to the ground. He was so excited and climbed up. He got ready to kiss Rapunzel, but it was the godmother. The prince could not believe it. "What are you doing here?" asked the godmother. "Where is Rapunzel?" asked the prince. "I have cut off Rapunzel's long braid. It is now short. When Rapunzel told me," the witch told the prince, "why I climb up the rope so slowly and you go up so quickly, she asked why we were different. I knew that you two had been meeting." "What did you do with her?" asked the prince. The godmother threw him out of the window. The prince fell down to the ground, but he was not hurt. There were brambles that softened his fall, but he became blinded by the thorns which poked in his eyes. He lost his sight and wandered in the forest for many years. No one knew where he was. Where was Rapunzel? No one knew where she was, too, except the witch. She visited Rapunzel, who had 2 children in their secret hiding place. She would sing as she cleaned their house and played with her children. One day the prince heard her singing. As he stumbled blindly through the forest, he said, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel." Rapunzel was touched and cried. Crying, she hugged the prince. Some of her tears fell on the prince's eyes, which became clear, and he could see again. The 2 of them were very happy. They got married and lived happily for many years to come. The godmother, where is she? No one knows.